Hello everyone, my name is Super123 and today we're going to see how quickly can I beat Pokemon Emerald using only a Rayquaza. After seeing how well Kyogre and Groudon did in this challenge, how can Rayquaza match up? It is the more balanced of the others in the weather trio, obviously, since it brings balance to the two. 150 in both attack and special attack makes it a really competent mixed attacker, but with the 90 base defense and special defense, it also can't take a hit too well. Being a dragon flying type, it resists quite a lot of common types, but being weak to rock will make the first gym a bit tougher to get past. And being weak to dragon and 4 times weak to ice will probably make the Elite Four take a lot of this video up. In terms of moves, we start with the weakest base power move of all the weather trio with Twister, which is only 40 base power. It does learn Dragon Dance at level 30, similar to how Groudon and Kyogre learnt Bulk Up and Calm Mind respectively, but Dragon Dance doesn't benefit the Dragon type, as they are special based in Gen 3. And Rayquaza doesn't learn a stat raising move that benefits special attack like Calm Mind, and with most of its best moves being special, this could be really quite tough. Here are the rules: I can only use Rayquaza in battle, I can use other Pokemon for HMs, but they can't be used in battle. No items in battle, only held items and items outside of battle, and no cheating or exploits or save scumming. If I lose a battle in these legendary runs, I just have to keep going back into the battle without saving and resetting. And if you do go on to enjoy this video, be sure to hit like and subscribe. This will keep you up to date with all future Pokemon challenges that I upload. And without further ado, let's get into the challenge. So I picked my starter Pokemon, which was obviously Rayquaza, and named it Joey. Not after the famous youngster, but because I had an Emerald save file many years ago with the player name as Joey for some reason, and I've transferred that Rayquaza basically through every generation I could. Due to Twister having really poor base power, the rival was a 3-hit KO rather than a 2-hit KO like the other legendaries. I battled basically all of the trainers that I could on the way to Rustboro, and all the gym trainers too, and went into the battle with Roxanne at a respectable level 13. In a first for these legendary runs, I lost the first gym battle as Rocktoon was super effective and we didn't stand a chance. I tried the battle a second time, and this is honestly the luckiest battle you'll ever see on my channel. Starting with Geodude 1, we hit a strong Twister to almost take it out. It misses its Rock Tomb and then gets healed next turn as we get one more Twister to take it out. And Geodude number 2 is out next, and if you've never experienced Deja Vu, then I'm going to help you here, because the same thing happened to Geodude number 2 as it did to Geodude number 1. And finally it's Nosepass, hitting a Twister and getting the flinch, making Nosepass unable to attack, and then just using a second one and getting a critical hit to knock it out. We hit level 15 to learn Ancient Power and get the Gym Badge. I could give you all a million attempts at that battle, and I don't think you would be able to get the same outcome that I just did then. That is once in a lifetime luck. After getting the badge, I went to the Granite Cave and caught a Makuhita to use as a HM user, and got the old rod from the fishing man on the shore, delivering the letter and going to the museum and fighting Team Aqua, and the 2 trainers north of Slateport with the Plusle and Minun. After that little bit of grinding, I sped through the second gym, avoiding the trainers, and battled Brawly. He wasn't as difficult as in the Groudon run. Machop is first and it got flinched by Twister first turn, making it unable to attack, soon falling to a second Twister. Meditite is second, and despite being not very effective, I just used Ancient Power to try and get the boosts and got them first turn, but kept trying for more since I'm greedy as Meditite raised its own attack and defense. So I used Twister, which being a special move didn't care about those physical defense boosts, leading to his Makuhita. A Twister takes it into the red before a Vital Throw does a pitiful 5 damage. Makuhita heals up with a Citrus Berry, taking it out of potion range, but still within knockout range, and with one last Twister and those very helpful boosts, we get the second Gym Badge in quick succession. Time for that infamous rival battle before going to the third gym. Wingull was a one-shot with Ancient Power. 3 Twisters are enough to take out Combusken as it deals very little damage to us, and the Lombre meets the same fate through 3 Twisters. After that battle, Wally is taken out quickly, giving me access to the third gym. And despite being part dragon, we are still part flying type also, so electric type moves do neutral damage to us. I battled some trainers in and around the city to better prepare myself, as I wasn't expecting this to be easy at all. During the level grind, Rayquaza learnt Dragon Claw, which is a significant upgrade on Twister. It doesn't make the opponent flinch, but I'll happily take the damage increase. Here is my first attempt at Watson's battle, and it goes really poorly. Voltorb is out first and I try for the Ancient Power boosts. 2 Ancient Powers take up Voltorb either side of a weak Spark but no boosts. Still no boost as Electrike was a 2-shot of its own with Ancient Power, but its ability static paralysed Rayquaza, and the Magneton was where the problems came in. While being paralysed it confuses us, meaning we have a very slim chance of actually attacking. Mixed with its 100% accuracy Shockwave and fixed 20 damage Sonic Boom, and we get knocked out, and just from this battle I can tell this isn't going to be a fun ride. Here's the second attempt, and I gave Rayquaza a Paralysis Healing Berry to hold and got the Ancient Power boosts on both the first and second turns of the battle. So now we are +2 in all of our stats from the get-go, and surely this has to be a victory. Electrike stood no chance against a critical Dragon Claw as the Cherry Berry activates, bringing us onto Magneton. But Magneton has Thunder Wave of its own, and after being taken down to red health, Watson heals it, meaning another Dragon Claw only takes it to the lower yellow HP bar. And then he heals it again, as the Supersonic causes us to hit ourselves, and it gets its own critical Shockwave in, meaning it can take us out with a single Sonic Boom. And somehow from a seemingly impossible position, we lose to the Magneton. This has to be something in the rulebook that he can't just stick 3 Pokemon together with Super Glue and call it another Pokemon. Sick of Watson's rubbish, I battled more trainers, getting Rayquaza to level 26, and tried the battle again. Getting a one-shot on Voltorb and Electrike with Dragon Claw and Twister respectively, Magneton comes out next and Dragon Claw does just under half. On that turn it uses Thunder Wave to paralyze us, and then I used Twister to whittle it down and not get it into healing range as it uses Shockwave. It gets in some really strong hits while we can't attack, but when we do get off a Dragon Claw, we finally take it down. And after all those attempts, we finally get to see his ace, the Manectric. It uses Howl as Dragon Claw takes it down to low health, and of course it has a Citrus Berry, but that is perfect for us as it takes it out of proper healing range and still into knockout range, as on 16 HP we finally take the gym badge from this extremely annoying gym leader. It only took a few tries of battling through the cheap strategy of paralysis and confusion. After having to explain to Watson that having a 3v1 battle is illegal, I went to the Meteor Falls and battled Team Magma on Mount Chimney. Nothing interesting happened there and back. Maxie was a pushover with Ancient Power and Dragon Claw, and now we can fight Flannery in the 4th gym. She starts off with Numel that was a 2-shot with Ancient Power as it set up the sun in between. Slugma was a 1-shot but still no Ancient Power boosts, but we don't need that as we got Dragon Dance at level 30, a move that raises the attack and speed of the user by 1 stage. After learning it, I used it 3 times before hitting an Ancient Power on Camrobbed, but it doesn't take it out, prompting the healing. I tried to use Dragon Claw instead, but that was the same case as before. Another Ancient Power doesn't take it out, so I just have to use a final Twister to knock it out. Torkoala's last, and it was nothing too special, as 2 Dragon Claws get the job done and win us the 4th gym badge, meaning we can move on. But quickly on Dragon Dance, it does raise our attack stat, but sadly Dragon moves are special based in Gen 3, meaning that we won't be able to benefit fully from these boosts. So I guess we're making a special attacking Rayquaza. I assume the battle with Norman is going to be similar to the last 2 legendary runs, with the boosting move being vital. Attempt 1 and this went really poorly as I was too greedy with Dragon Dance. I used it 4 times and with the residual damage from Spinder's own attacks, coupled with confusion damage means we get knocked out on the first Pokemon. Attempt 2 and this time I wasn't going to be as cocky as I started with a Dragon Claw as Spinder confuses us. I went for a Dragon Dance after Spinder was healed and used a further Dragon Claw to knock it out. Dragon Claw leaves Vigoroth on 1 pixel of health as it uses a strong slash, but isn't healed for some reason. I used another Dragon Dance since I misclicked, used a Twister, and next is Linoon. Luckily Linoon wasn't a range as the critical hit takes it out, and on to Slacking who I used Ancient Power on since we are +2, but that basically does nothing and we're taken out with Facade. I kept trying this battle and the Slacking took me out 4 more times before I got a winning run. At this stage we're now level 33 and a single Dragon Claw is enough to take out the Spinder and the Vigoroth in 1 hit. The Linoon just hangs on and is healed as we take it right back with another Dragon Claw. Predicting the second heal I used Ancient Power but don't get any boosts. A final Dragon Claw takes it out leading to that cursed Slacking as we hit level 34. I started with Ancient Power and got the lucky boosts, meaning our Dragon moves will be a lot stronger now with the special attack boost. It hits a strong Facade as now it's loafing around, meaning we can get in 2 free hits. But we only need 1 as a critical hit is the difference, and it feels so good to beat Slacking like that after all the trouble it just gave us. Now we can get the badge and the HM for Surf that Makuhita can learn for some reason. and carry on with the thrilling storyline of getting the Mystic Water from the cast form after scaring away Team Aqua, meeting the rival, and getting to the 6th gym. On the way there I learnt Crunch, which despite using your teeth to bite the opponent, is a special move. Yeah, all dark moves are special in Gen 3 and prior because I don't know why. So do you think I learnt my lessons of being too greedy with stat boosting moves?
Ah. It says no.
Of course I didn't. I'm the cockiest man alive. Of course this means that Rayquaza is knocked out by a Swablu, however. Okay, I have to explain this. I wanted to set up a load of Dragon Dance boosts and sweep with Ancient Power. What I didn't account for was Swablu having Perish Song, a move that makes all the Pokemon affected by the move faint in 3 turns. Of course normally you can switch out and you'll be fine, but this is a solo run challenge if you couldn't tell by the title, intro and the video up until this point. That means we lost to a Swablu. Oh my god, I lost to a Swablu, what's wrong with me? This isn't a hard gym at all and the second attempt proves this. I got revenge on the Swablu with a Dragon Claw, with its evolved form Altaria getting the same treatment because revenge! Tropius was a bit more bulky as it took 2 Dragon Claws to take out. Pelipper was annoying since it was healed and used Protect and likes to confuse Rayquaza. It took a bit of time but it was eventually knocked out, leading to a final Pokemon Skarmory. Skarmory is a bit tough due to it resisting Dragon type moves and having Sand Attack, but that doesn't matter as we won the gym badge and got the TM for Aerial Ace, which I taught over Ancient Power as we won't be needing that for any upcoming boss battles, and I'd rather have the same type attack boost, plus it was physical, so it benefits from Dragon Dance. After the gym I went to Mount Pyre to clear out Team Aqua, and then while recording the section in which I beat both the Team Magma and Team Aqua hideouts, my laptop shut itself off because I didn't have it plugged in because the battery is rubbish.
Yeah, you like that, you dirty little...
Luckily I saved before the gym battle, and in my initial attempts I lost 3 times. Beating the gym actually took me more tries than my initial run where the laptop turned off, but first of all I taught Rayquaza Surf, since it's a multi-hit move and will be super effective against the gym leader's team. I got rid of Dragon Dance as we are clearly a special attacker now and having attack boosts is not helpful. Attempt 1 and we started by crunching Xatu and almost took it out. Magikarp fainted to Xatu's Psychic and Claydol wasted a turn by also aiming for Magikarp with Earthquake, which doesn't hit either Xatu or Rayquaza since they're both flying types. Xatu was healed as it was low health. Both Xatu and Claydol took about a third of their health of damage from Surf as Claydol set up Light Screen. This raised their special defense, making all of my attacks weaker. I aimed for the Xatu with Crunch, but the Light Screen made it survive on a sliver yet again, as Claydol hits a Psychic and Xatu confuses us with Confuse Ray. Xatu was healed again, and we hit another really weak Surf. Claydol's Psychics are really starting to add up now. Next turn we snapped out of Confusion and Claydol was knocked out by Surf and we hit level 44. Lunatone comes out and Xatu hits a strong Psychic and is healed up for a 3rd time. Of course this would soon be the end of Rayquaza. I still can't believe they used 3 Hyper Potions on Xatu of all things. Well, that healing spam obviously worked for them as it took me 5 more tries to get a victory. Level 45 now and we hit a Surf for not too much more damage than the last attempts, but it's a bit of progress. Xatu hits Magikarp with Psychic as Claydol still aims for Magikarp with Earthquake and thus is just a free turn. With Claydol slightly weakened, I went at it with Crunch since we don't want the light screens being set up, but Claydol sets up a Calm Mind raising both its special attack and special defense, with Lunatone coming out after we knocked out Claydol. I crunched Lunatone for some really good damage as it sets up its own Calm Mind and heals with a Citrus Berry, and this is looking scary with all their boosts. But another crunch is enough to eat all of the Moon Cheese and Solrock comes out last for their team, but now Xatu is at +2 after using a second Calm Mind. I crunched Xatu, but with the boosts it survives, cue the 100 Hyper Potions wasted on it, and Xatu sets up a Sunny Day, meaning that the attempt of Solrock using Sunny Day fails, but also means that Surf is considerably weaker. I crunched Xatu yet again after it was healed for just about half, and Solrock hits a Psychic and lowers our special defense. This could be the end if Xatu hits a strong Psychic of its own. But another crunch takes it out however and it is now a 1v1 with the Solrock, but we are in a much worse place health-wise. But that doesn't matter however, as Crunch is a one-shot on Solrock and we finally get the 7th gym badge. Solrock is the more physically defensive out of them and Lunatone, but I didn't think the difference was that big. So we get the gym badge, and just quickly, before the gym badge, they say how they always know what the other is thinking. Then why did they both aim for Magikarp at the start, rather than the giant dragon? And why did both Xatu and Solrock use Sunny Day on the same turn? I'm so confused. Now we're finally back at the point where the laptop died and battling through the evil team leaders. The double battle with Maxie and Steven went pretty smoothly thanks to Surf, and the battle with Archie was almost a clean sweep. But that doesn't matter as we've got the storyline to deal with. And that starts with going to the Cave of Origin and being told that Rayquaza isn't in that cave, but instead on Sky Pillar. I've got some news for you. There's a Rayquaza in here right now. I woke up the imposter Rayquaza and saved the world for a third time in these runs. You'd really think that'd stop this from happening by now. Before the 8th gym, I got the TM for Brick Break in Sutopolis, and this is going to be pretty helpful for dealing with various Ice-type Pokemon that we will face in the Elite Four. We're going into the battle, and this honestly went better than I expected. Lovedisk and Kingdra were both one-shots with Dragon Claw, the latter being weak to Dragon Claw. Celio survived in the red and hit an Aura Beam for a 4 times super effective hit that does a lot of damage. Then it got healed, but then 2 more Dragon Claws took it out. Whiscash also survived the Claw, but luckily Water Pulse didn't confuse us, and unlike Celio, it doesn't get healed for some reason and we knock it out. Groudon is his last Pokemon, and since it's extremely frail, 1 Dragon Claw is enough to win us the 8th and final gym badge. In all of these legendary runs I've done, 1 has got to be the easiest gym leader I've faced. Even in the Groudon run, he was an absolute piece of piss. But it's time to go to the Elite Four, but not before fighting Wally in the Victory Road, who was a clean sweep. He didn't stand a chance and didn't do a single bit of damage. Even when God of War survived, it just used Future Sight. And after making it through Victory Road, we are at an in-game time of 4 hours and 49 minutes. Let's see how long it will take to beat the Elite Four. Our stats are looking pretty good, especially in special attack. The defences are kinda low in comparison, but we'll have to work with that. Attempt 1 of the Elite Four, starting off with Sydney. His Mightyena starts off with an Intimidate right off the bat, but since we have all special moves, that means nothing at all and we can take it out. Absol is a 2-shot and doesn't attack as it just boosts its stats. Shiftry and Cacturn, despite being weak to Aerial Ace, are both 2-shots. And finally, Crawdon is as frail as ever and gets taken out in 1 shot, and we win the first of the battles in pretty convincing circumstances. Next up is Phoebe, and her first Dusclops comes out and immediately protects itself, but a critical hit crunch knocks it out, leading to her second Dusclops, which doesn't quite fall to the same fate and hits a massive Ice Beam. It heals itself with a berry, taking it out of healing range, and with another crunch, it's taken out of the battle. The next Pokemon was super easy to deal with. Bayonet 1 with a crunch, Sableye with a crunch and an Aerial Ace, and Bayonet 2 with a crunch. So all of that was fairly easy, but now we have to face the Ice-type trainer Glacier. And being a Dragon Flying type, Ice moves are 4 times super effective from Rayquaza, so if it gets hit once, that's lights out. Of course that happened on this attempt, and subsequent attempts also, so I had to think of ways to actually beat the Celios and Glalie quickly before they can get a hit. My first plan was going to get the TM for Thunderbolt from Watson after doing the new Marvel side quest. I then deleted Surf as that is not going to be of much use in the Elite Four as a whole, and taught Thunderbolt over it. It took a few more tries to get the Glacier and we hit level 57 in the process. Her starting with Celio was a 1-shot with Thunderbolt, which is the perfect start. She sends in Glalie and it survives a Dragon Claw and hits a strong Ice Beam, taking us to a mere 27 HP. It was healed next turn, so I used Thunderbolt to gauge the damage dealt, and it did just over half health, so I did it again and took it out. As I did with Celio number 2, only 1 Thunderbolt was enough. Glalie number 2 was luckily a critical hit with Dragon Claw. Any attack hitting us would have been curtains. And lastly, it's the War Rain. I wasn't too confident of taking it out in 1 hit, but I tried the Thunderbolt anyway, and what happened next was crazy, as I got the Paralysis, and then it used Surf of all moves. It has Blizzard, and even Body Slam would have taken us out, seeing as we're on such low health. It used Surf for whatever reason, which is really confusing why, but I'm not complaining. As War Rain is on such low health, it gets healed, giving us 2 free turns to attack. And somehow, we've beaten Glacier. How? Why did you use Surf? Just use Body Slam, my guy. So after that absolute craziness, we move on to Drake, and surely our dragon moves have to do better than his. We're a legendary after all. Shelgon was a one-shot with Dragon Claw, as was Altaria as we hit level 58. Flygon was also a one-shot, and Salamence had a pointless Intimidate and was still a one-shot. And finally Kingdra was also a one-shot. Dragon Claw is getting a bit OP in this battle, but the champion battle with Wallace should hopefully be a bit more exciting. Wallace starts off with a Wailord and it's taken up with a single Thunderbolt leading to Tentacruel, and it has the simple task of using Ice Beam for a critical hit, and that was fast. All that work to get to that point, and I lose like that. It took me so many tries to even get to the champion again. In that time we hit level 65 and learned Outrage. I probably shouldn't have taught Outrage since it locks us into the move and confuses us after 2 to 3 turns, but I just wanted some absolute power on the moveset. I also replaced Aerial Ace with Brick Break since there are more things in the Elite Four weak to fighting rather than flying. I am giving up a stab move, but it's for the greater good. But even with all that power we had to wait till level 67 for a solid run. And during post I just realised that I have the perfect team for dealing for every member of the Elite Four, starting with Sydney, who is the Brick Break guy. Brick Break took out Mightyena and Absol in one hit despite the Intimidate lowering its power since it's a physical move. Shift relives on 1 HP and gets healed, but after that it must have been a range as the next hit takes it out in 1. Cacturne is also taken out in 1 and Groudon goes down in 2 after being healed after an initial 1, and we move on. Phoebe is why we have Crunch on the moveset. Her first Dusclops protected first turn, but on the second turn it's a one shot with Crunch. And it was a bit quicker on Dusclops 2 as it doesn't have Protect and is also taken out in 1 hit. Banette was obviously a one shot and Sableye lived on a sliver and gets healed up not once, but twice. But finally it's taken out and the last Banette is consumed by the power of Crunch, and we can move on after those pretty easy exchanges. Glacier still brings me fear, but this is why we have Thunderbolt, and also Brick Break is quite helpful too. Celio is a single Thunderbolt from fainting, as with the following Glalie it's a one shot with Brick Break. The next 2 Pokemon being Celio and Glalie follow suit to their previous counterparts, and faint in a Thunderbolt and Brick Break respectively. And Walrein, despite it being pretty bulky, is a one shot with Thunderbolt. No need to use Surf here. And finally we're at Drake, who would be an easy sweep with Dragon Claw, but I taught Outrage for the damage output. Not wanting the confusion hacks against me, I didn't use it right away, instead deciding to use Crunch on the Shelgon, leading to 2 Thunderbolts on Altaria. I crunched the Flygon away, and Salamence is when the Outrage sweep started, and the sweep soon ended with Kingdra being destroyed, and all of that while forgetting to heal from the Glacier battle. And finally we are at the champion. Can we get a win this time? Wailord was a one-shot with Thunderbolt, leading into Tentacruel. Tentacruel is a pain if it gets off Toxic, and that basically means it's game over. So I used Thunderbolt and luckily got the paralysis and the same turn hacks. Of course he's going to heal, so I use another one and take it out. Milotic comes out and it's a critical hit Thunderbolt, taking us to level 70. And Gyarados is also going to be a one-shot with Thunderbolt, seeing as it's 4 times weak to it. Ludicolo comes out and I would have preferred to have Aerial Ace for a super effective stab move, but 2 Thunderbolts still did the job and took it out. Wishcast is out last and I used Outrage since it isn't hurt by electric type moves, but that only took it into the red as it raises its special defense and heals. Outrage is doing a lot less now and we are also confused, but somehow we managed to get the Brick Break off through the confusion and snap out just in time to end it with an Outrage, and we've finally beaten the champion and have put ourselves in the Hall of Fame with Rayquaza. All of this at an in-game time of 6 hours 28 minutes and at level 70. We basically had the perfect moveset for the Elite Four, but now we're going to have to do a bit of tinkering with the moveset to beat Steven in the post-game. The moves I added to Rayquaza's moveset were Overheat and Surf. Surf is helpful against the likes of Aggron and Armaldo, while Overheat is a Hail Mary for the Metagross. It did take me a few failed attempts to come up with this moveset, but here is the winning run regardless. Skarmory was taken to the red with a Thunderbolt as it used Spikes, which is useless in a solo Pokemon run, and got healed up. Another Thunderbolt took it to the red, but I had him switch into Claydol to avoid the Thunderbolt, but predicting it I used Surf. 2 Surfs had Claydol taken out before it can set up Light Screen, but if it did set up the screens, Brick Break is a good move to destroy Light Screen and Reflect. But we didn't have to use it as I have still no idea what Greydilly is weak to, but apparently it's weak to fighting type moves, so I used Brick Break for around half damage. It gets in the first try Ancient Power boosts because why wouldn't it, and then I used Surf to hopefully keep it out of healing range while it used Ingrain to restore some HP back. Luckily it was out of full restore range and a Brick Break does enough, leading to our Maldo. It survives the Surf and gets off a powerful slash, of course being healed and taken out with 2 more Surfs. Aggron and good special attack don't go into the same sentence, unless you're saying Aggron does not have good special attack. 1 Surf is obviously enough to take it out. Skarmory comes back in just to be healed, but it's all in vain as 2 Surfs take it out, leading to the final Pokemon Metagross. And with our Hail Mary Overheat, we end the challenge and beat Steven at the end of the game at level 73 with an in-game time of 7 hours and 5 minutes. Looking at the timings and at the same level as Groudon but an hour better, it moves into that second spot on the Elite Four battles. Still not as good as Kyogre, but we've established Kyogre is basically hacking. Rayquaza beat Steven with the highest level out of the trio however at level 73. Some stages of the run were difficult, like how we were better in special attack but only had Dragon Dance as our boosting move, and the 7th gym was a troublesome time, but not as bad as in the Groudon video by a long shot. Let me know in the comments if I should do the mythicals like Jirachi and Deoxys, and also some other solo runs as well. And for those of you asking in the comments, yes, I am doing another Professor Oak challenge. They just take a while to record. But I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe to stay notified of when I next upload. Follow my Twitter at Supery123, and I will see you all in the next video.